Holy shit, we're so back! So, the new update on Blackout is officially out after about 6 months of no major updates, and I'm here to explain everything there is to it. But to make it as simple as possible, I'll give you a quick reaction to the update patch notes to get a feel of what the update actually contains. So, here we have the patch notes. I've gone through them already, so I'll only explain what's important. The two deployable utilities, Arc Snare and Arc Trap. The Arc Snare is basically just a dagger you throw down on the ground and it sticks to walls, and it holds up enemies in the air, making it easy to shoot them. The Arc Trap, from what I understand in this description, is that it's basically just a tripwire. Shotgun bandolier, which is useless, it just reloads your 725 when unequipped. They also mentioned some of the stuff they added into the update, how many attachments they added, stuff like that, and also the changes. The most important ones in my opinion are that you can repair gear while still equipped. Ammo boxes can now refill weapons with high refill costs, which probably means P90 and stuff like that, which I can't wait for. They also buffed alternator charge stacks, which basically means that once you hit someone 10 times, instead of waiting for the effect to pop, it just instantly explodes, slowing them down and dealing a lot of damage. And also they remade how shotguns work, so now when you shoot a shotgun, it will go one bullet in the middle and then it's just gonna be surrounded by the rest. So now it's gonna be more consistent. They added a new PvE map, which basically has a new game mode in itself, so it's a new map and a new game mode combined into one. You cannot play the game mode on the first map they released, so it's just gonna be exclusive to that one. And also they made it so you can reload while running, which is pretty useful in the early rounds when you need to reload your pistol a lot, while also making it so after the first two relays, your secondary weapon doesn't have infinite ammo anymore. The attachment rework, basically now every weapon has a specific amount of points, and each attachment now costs points. So basically you have way more freedom over what you do, but you have a limit on what you can do. And also the Frosted Frights event returns. Basically how this works, if you didn't know already from the last event, is that now there's an NPC in the train station area, just near the crane, that lets you turn in bounty cards, that for every 100 bounty the bounty card has, you will receive 1 point, and for every influence you have, you also receive 1 point, so you can keep switching from one to another to earn the most points. The balance changes. The most important ones are the Scar 20, doing increased damage but also having a really bad pen, the Supercharged Axle, which now has less pen and also decreases the stun and daze effect, the KS, which got an insane buff, dealing more body shot damage and insane headshot damage, which they forgot to mention. Also decreasing the pen by 5%, but it's not gonna make much of a difference when you've got damage like this. You also have the P90, which was slightly nerfed, and also the RSH, which got a huge buff, dealing more body shot damage than it ever did before. All of the explosive weapons, I believe, except the M79, so now the RPG 18, 7, and also GL have an arming distance. GL already used to have an arming distance, but now it's a little bit changed. So basically, the further away you are from someone, you deal more damage, more fracture damage, more explosive range, and all of that good stuff. So now explosives are basically meant to be used from afar. They also reworked how armor works, making light tactical armor better, heavy armor better, making the tactical helmet worse, and also the tack legging. But now, if you have a full light kit, you only have 11 space, but if you have a full heavy kit, you have 14 space and only 15 weight now. So basically heavy tactical armor is gonna be meta again. Now that you have the general idea of what this update added, let's see what everything does in practice. First up, we have 3 returning items in the Spectral shop, the Crimson, Acid Inhalers, and the Photon Blades. I'll quickly go through these as you probably know what they do already. The Crimson Inhaler costs 50 shards and makes all of your fist attacks insanely strong, turning them into ragdoll powerhouses that drain your entire stamina bar upon hitting someone, while also giving you some bonus status effects like hit speed, jump boost, and damage reduction. The Acid Inhaler costs 35 shards, makes your guns extremely, and I mean extremely fast, making most of the actions except shooting way faster by 250%. And lastly, the Photon Blades that cost 300 shards. Buying this just gives you the Photon Blades contraband. And before I forget, any and all of these event items are undroppable. So no, you can't give your friend with an upkit Crimson Inhaler, although they can buy it themselves. Now I have some new additions in the shop, those being the Arc Trap, Snare, Dark Inhaler, Tusks, and an actual Spectral Axe, not to be confused with the finisher. The Arc Trap is as simple as it gets. Throw it between two walls on the ground and it will create a tripwire between them. This tripwire will deal continuous damage and apply surge to anyone crossing through it. It can be destroyed at both ends of it. The Arc Snare is a lot more special though, as it's sort of a kunai, and when thrown on a surface, it will create a purple circle and entangle anyone in the radius, making it so if they go too far from their original position, they will be dragged towards the center like a string shot. The Dark Inhaler, which costs 100 shards, after consumption will make you glow a specific color, and after a while you will instantly die, and after a short delay be turned into a zombie from the final Eclipse game mode, dependent on the color you were glowing. The tasks is a gear that is worn on your face like anti-flash goggles or gas mask. It costs 300 shards, and whenever you swing in melee, you will be granted 25 swing speed and 25 walk speed, and with every next swing, you gain an additional 2.5% walk speed and 10% swing speed, up to a maximum of 215% swing speed and 75% walk speed. Not swinging for 4 ticks makes all of the effects wear off, and sometimes even applies a very lengthy 50% walk speed debuff. This gear also has durability, so it isn't infinite. The Spectral Axe is the reskin of a Tomahawk with virtually the same stats as a Photon Blade, while costing only 250 shards compared to it. And also last but not least, the Spectral Axe finisher. What do you want me to say? It's 5000 shards and it's a finisher. The easiest way to farm points is either to do as many tasks that give you high influence like Cargo Ambush, Duck Hunt or the Rebel or Vulture raids, but you can also farm Scourge until max bounty, reset somewhere safe and collect your bounty card later on to turn it into shards. Remember that logging removes any bounty cards that you have in your inventory. Along with this, also came some new items you can find in merchants, like the returning firework launcher and second anniversary hat. I highly advise storing these as they are event exclusive, specifically the anniversary hat, because it only takes 1 space and cannot be obtained after the event. Confetti rounds were also added to shotguns, which just make them more festive, and the attachment rework also came with this update, which I explained how it works earlier, but I'm gonna also explain some new utility attachments which were added, like the heartbeat sensor, which after 7 seconds of holding a weapon with it on, it will highlight any nearby enemies, albeit it doesn't show if they're above or below you, and it also marks NPCs and teammates the same way it marks other players. And the second utility attachment, heat vision sensor, which only works on specific sites, that lets you see through walls, smokes, and also darkness in case of metal tunnels, highlighting enemies in a bright red glow. How do I advise using these new items to their fullest? First off, the Crimson Inhaler is extremely deadly when paired with the Purple Inhaler due to the reduced cooldown of your heavy attacks while also making them faster, so you can spam the heavy more easily. You can use it even as a contra kit or without the fist due to it giving many buffs like damage reduction. The Zone Inhaler is good with literally any gun, though I'm not sure if this still works, but back then it used to make the Photon Accelerator only have a 1 second charge in the normal kit and basically made it instant on a commander. The Arc Trap is good in waves if you want to cover an exit, and I'm sure someone can find a lineup to make it so you cannot jump over it, although the Arc Snare is the most OP one since you can use it at bunker when someone is exiting to trap them, and someone from bunker roof can shoot explosives since now they get buffed the further you shoot them from to make them deadly. The Dark Inhaler is pretty complicated since you can play as every zombie, so it's kind of hard to explain everything, but it's basically just if you get Flare or Shockbane you're good to go, but Vapor Moths are also good in their own way as a support. The Spectral Axe is kind of useless as even though it has the same stats as the Photon Blades, its hitboxes are still way smaller and the status effects like Crippled don't really apply to it, though from what I understand, if you're heavy with it, it will have a launch projectile similar to Blade Dancer, so I guess that saves it a little bit. So if you really want to, you can get it and put it in your stash to collect it. And the Photon Blades I think are the most valuable here, since if you're a new player, you will always need to have blades in your stash, and this is the best way to grind them, even if they're not droppable. The Final Eclipse is also receiving some love in this update with a brand new map and mechanics. Starting off with the new map Azure Forest, it seems smaller than Canal District and also has a lot of new mechanics. First off, relay stations now work way differently. Zombies with pumpkin heads now spawn during the waves, and killing them draws their head is something you can pick up. You can hold a max of 3 heads on you, and going to a relay assigned to you lets you go into its zone and deliver the heads for 10 points each. The relay station slowly decays over time, so make sure to not let it reach critical levels by turning in more pumpkin heads. If a relay is fully charged, you are obliged to do it, basically following the same formulas in Canal District, but with a twist. The relay can have infinite waves. The way you pass it is that you have to charge it again with the heads of the defeated pumpkin zombies. After completing each relay, parts of the main building will have its barricades removed, and a new relay station with higher point requirement will be unlocked. Along with this, there are also upgrade relays. Stuff like having ammo stations contain more ammo, zombie heads giving more points, and even healing relay stations when at critical levels. I recommend just completing the relay and then moving on to upgrade stations. But of course, you can start waves by purposely not doing relay stations and just using upgrade stations while keeping relay stations from running out of fuel. This map also brought a new booster, the attachment booster. This, for 3000 stash money, lets you increase the max point cap for attachments on a weapon of your choice, boosting it by 20 points for each upgrade. So Demolitionist will have a field day with this one. Anything but helping brother out. This all seems complicated at first, but once you get the hang of it, which I did in only one run so it shouldn't be that hard, it makes the game way more interesting and fun, and also adds resource management into it, with the addition of the relay point decay. Thank you for watching. If you reached this far part of the video, you probably have enjoyed what I make. So don't forget to drop a like and sub. I also want to mention that I have applied for monetization. And also want to give a huge shout out to Cocokaka for his work on the thumbnail. For now and for the future, they will be of higher quality thanks to him. So go and congratulate him or something on the Discord server. And if you aren't in it, come on in. There's space for more, trust me. Anyway, I'm bringing a tradition back to share you some clips. The first one actually being how I met Cocokaka. Chico, yo!
Also, Moldo, bro. Moldo, what are you doing, bro?
Unde? Mărțiu, cred că mi-am găsit alt fan. Cred că am găsit alt.
Nu pot să cred. Mai ale 25 să te uiți la Matthew.